All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahawah, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakodash, that belongs to the apostles, bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Yahawah from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video, another Sabbath. Shortly before the Sabbath comes to a close this evening, which the weekly Sabbath is based off of the new moon, which the new moon is a dark moon, a black moon. You can't see it. It won't be lit up. It's a dark moon, and then it increases day by day from that first sliver of light from the dark moon, and every week, 7 days after that, you have a Sabbath. So if the new moon, dark moon cycle starts on a Tuesday, then every Tuesday evening after that will be the Sabbath. The last new moon, you can look it up on any calendar. Just Google it or ask your phone. Ask AI, when was the last new moon? It'll tell you that it came in uh, uh, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, which it'll probably say Thursday, but we Israelite culture, Hebrew Israelite culture, is we start our days, our daily days start in the evening. Okay, so on a weekly Sabbath, it's a custom for us to go into the laws, and I say that every lesson. We always go into the commandments so our people can continue to learn. It's something that we should know. So, like I said, another week going over the law, statutes, and commandments. Spirit's been on me to do this, so I'm gonna go over all 613 because you don't have Israelite groups going into it. People preach the law, the law, the law. People don't know the law. You don't know what you can. Now, of course, we don't keep the law 100%, but there's nothing wrong with knowledge. There's nothing wrong with learning and knowing. Okay, the scripture says that we are to rehearse the righteous acts. And as I always say, the fact that I have to go over these lessons every week going into the laws proves that we're not fully under the new covenant. All right. The new covenant, pursuant to Jeremiah 31:31, says that the Lord will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, all 12 tribes, that there will be no more two houses, and that he's going to put the law in our inward parts. All right. You can't quote all 613 laws from the top. So we have to go over this. Okay. We got to go into the laws, you know. So anyway, so let's start. So this week we're going over the clean animals fit for consumption and of other and of offerings. So the clean animals fit for consumption are the clean animals that you can eat, which when you go into the laws, it also tells you the animals you can't eat. And the biggest the most of the animals that our people eat today, uh animals, I'll say, uh we do eat clean, lawful, biblical animals, but our people have also been programmed, not knowing who we are, not knowing our history. We've been programmed and taught by this wicked American society to eat pork, shrimp, lobster, and other shellfish, and other unclean fish and other animals, um, which we are not supposed to do. There's a video floating around. Let me see if I can find this video real quick. There's a video floating around, right? Since I'm going to go into these clean animals, right? See if I can just type this in. Black man cooks bear. Because there's this video that's going around. We have Israelite men, so-called black men, cooking unlawful animals such as bear, right? Let's see if I can find that video. It's floating around. Let me see. Bear legs. Cooking bear leg. Let me see if it pops up on YouTube. I've seen it in a couple of other places. Okay, well, here's one. Oh, let me put these filters on so we can get this week. No. Upload date. Well, here you got this, and this is from a Japanese restaurant, braised bear legs, in a Japanese restaurant. Well, first of all, the Japanese, uh, those people are the sons of Ammon. They are not God's people. So these heathens, all right, they eat animals that the Bible says we're not supposed to eat because the Bible's not their culture, so they don't know to not eat it. The laws weren't given to them, so ain't no Japanese person gonna believe in Jesus and God, believe in the scriptures and be saved. All right, the Messiah Yahawah is only coming back to save the Israelites only. You Christians can't prove that. Vocab Malone can't prove that. So eating braised bear legs, that's a whole nother race and culture. We don't eat that. But you got our people, right? Now I believe this is one of the videos going around from 9 months ago. Jake done cooked Paddington, which Paddington Bear is from the UK. Anyway, it says they pulled out bear legs for this barbecue. R.I.P. Paddington the Bear. And you see on the video, right? It's playing automatically. So you can see you got this Israelite here, so-called black man, Jake, cooking up bear meat, bear legs. We're not supposed to eat bear. All right. No mammals. We don't eat mammals. All right. As far as with paws and claws and teeth. All right. You don't eat dog. You don't eat cat. You don't eat bear. You don't eat tiger. You don't eat lion. You don't eat tiger. You don't eat tiger shark. So, we have our people that eat these foods they're not supposed to eat. Same thing with this here. We're not supposed to eat crab legs. Okay. First of all, bear meat, if you look it up, bears have all kinds of parasites. I don't care how you clean it. I don't care about lemon, lime, water, vinegar. All right. They have parasites. All right. Same thing with crabs. You're not supposed to eat crabs or lobster or mussels or oysters. So now let's get into these commandments. Clean animals fit for consumption, which means to eat. Fit means that are right to eat. All right. So we're at 143 to 152. So Lord willing, this is a short lesson, but I just flow with the spirit. It says the priests must receive their share of all clean animals that are slaughtered. Deuteronomy 18:3. And in these last days and time, we're being called to be prophets mainly. You have brothers that are priests, claim to be priests. Brothers that are called priests. Brothers call me priest. Uh, but that just means that we should be even more in tune with Yahawah Shai. So this is Deuteronomy 18, portion of the Levites. Verse 1. The priests of the Levites and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. The inheritance is dealing with the land. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord Yahawah, made by fire, and his inheritance. So when the Israelites bring their sacrifices and their offerings, the Levites get to eat that. All right, the priests included. It's because it says the priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi. So all the Levites eat of the offerings of the Lord. Verse 2. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren of the land. The Lord Yahawah is their inheritance, as he had said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people. Now, mind you, once again, these laws are for the ancient world, but these are the laws that the Lord gave unto Moses to give to Israel. We don't have a priesthood today. We don't have the Levitical priesthood today. All right? We're all becoming priests in the spirit. All right? Another part of the new covenant says that we shall no more teach our brother. We have to continue to teach our brother the Holy Scriptures in order for us to know Yahawah and Yahweh Shai. All right? But there will become a time in the kingdom where we're not going to teach our brothers, everyone, to know the Lord. But now we got to teach you to know the Lord. It says, and this shall be the priest's due from the people. From them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. Oxen, oxtail is lawful. You can eat oxtail. I love oxtail. Sheep, such as lamb, you can eat lamb. We eat that on the Passover. That's lawful. Can't eat bear. Can't eat crab. I'm going to get into it. It says, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, right? You go in the grocery store today, you can get lamb shoulders, and the two cheeks and the maw. All right. So this is what you give to the priest. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord Yahawah thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord Yahawah, him and his sons forever. All right. Law number 144. The priest must receive the first fleece from the shearing of sheep. Deuteronomy 18:4. So when you shear your sheep, that wool has to go to the priest. And I just read that. Number 145. Anything devoted to Yahawah becomes most holy to Yahawah and becomes the property of the sanctuary of Yahawah and the priests. To Leviticus 27 and 28. So let's go to Leviticus 27 and 28. When you teach these laws and scriptures, you get straight to the point. Straight to the point. Everything should be as factual and as quick as easy to understand as possible. So Leviticus 27 and 28. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Lord Yahawah of all that he hath, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. Now, spiritually, we devote ourselves to the Lord. Okay? Us in this truth, we have a spiritual contract with Yahawah Shai to devote ourselves to this truth. If you fall out this truth, then that's when the Lord has uh, um, all right to bug you out, destroy you. So we have to be devoted to this truth. All right, let me get this verse here in the NLT, so it'll be a little bit more easier to read. Okay, I thought I was going to jump straight to it. Leviticus 28, Leviticus 27 and 28. However, anything specially set apart for the Lord, whether a person, right? Like I said, we are now spiritually devoted and set apart to the Lord. An animal or family property must never be sold or bought back. Anything devoted in this way has been set apart as holy and it belongs to the Lord. No person specially set apart for destruction may be bought back. Such a person may be put to death. You know? So is that the Lord's destruction? Is that the Lord's discretion? Okay, how he deals with you, right? Set apart for destruction. That's let's see what Paul said. Paul said, let him be an anathema maranatha. I spelled it wrong. Set apart for destruction. Let's see, did I spell it right? No, I didn't. Let me see. Let him be. Let him be. Oh, you know what? I got it. Anathema. Know how you spell it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is in uh, the NLT. That's why. You know what? Matter of fact, I want to see what it says. Here we go. 1 Corinthians 16 and 22. If any man love not the Lord Yahawah Shai, not Jesus Christ, this is a wrong translation. All right. They should have translated it into the Hebrew transliteration. If any man love not the Lord Yahawah Shai, Hamashayak, or Yahawah Shai the Messiah, let him be anathema maranatha. All right. When you look up anathema maranatha in the Greek, the first word anathema means a thing set apart or laid up in order to be kept. Yeah, you set it apart. A thing devoted to the Most High without hope of being redeemed. And if an animal to be slain, therefore a person or thing doomed to destruction. So Paul was utilizing the law when he quoted this. See how deep this New Testament can get? If you understand the scriptures and go into these laws, you can fast forward to the New Testament and get a better understanding. A curse, a man a curse, devoted to the direst of woes. Okay? So, yes, a person can be devoted to the Lord, which that's what we are in this faith. We're turning back to our heritage. We are when we find out we're an Israelite and when we accept we're an Israelite, that is us telling Yahawah Shalom Shai, we're going to keep his laws, we're going to return back to our heritage to the best of our ability. We're not going to keep it 100%, which entails that we're going to have faith in his son, Yahawah Shai, that he sent to save us from our sins. He didn't come to save everybody. He came to save the Israelites from their sins. All right? Read Matthew, the first chapter. Okay? He shall save his people from their sins. Matthew 1 and 21. Everybody is not Jesus's people, or as we know him to be truly Yahawah Shai's people. Okay? So this goes back to what I was just going into. All right? Leviticus 27:29. No person specially set apart for destruction may be brought back. Bought back. So whoever uses Nema Maranatha, the Lord gonna destroy him. Such a person must be put to death. So that's in the law to be a Nema Maranatha. All right. So did the Israelites back then believing in Yahawah? Did they keep the commandments? Did they allude to the commandments? Did they use the commandments of the law as a base of their faith in Yahawah? Yes, they did. Certain things are spiritual now. So now let's go to the next one. Number 146. To be fit for consumption, to be good to eat, so you can understand, clean animals must be slaughtered. Do not eat what dies of itself. If you have a cow, if you have a goat, a lamb, a chicken, and it gets sick and it dies, you don't eat that chicken. You don't eat that goat or that lamb or that cow. Why? Because number one, it more than likely it died from parasites, inflammation. These animals get cancer. So if you eat it after it's dead, you eat that meat. Whatever illness, disease is in that blood or that flesh, you're just putting that in your body. So you don't eat that. It says, or is killed by wild beasts. This is what David was doing. When David was keeping a sheep, right? When you read the story of King David, I'm not going to get it. When you read the story of David, right, he was a keeper of sheep and he would fight the lions and the bears that were trying to eat the sheep. Why? Because if you have bears and lions trying to eat your sheep and they were killed and some of them were left in your field, you couldn't eat that killed lamb because those were wild beasts trying to eat those sheep. Okay? Deuteronomy 12 and 21. Let's go to Deuteronomy 12 and 21. Okay, I'm still in the NLT. It says, it might happen that the designated place of worship, the place the Lord Yahawah, your power, your God, chooses for his name to be honored, is a long way from your home. If so, you may butcher any of the cattle, sheep, or goats the Lord Yahawah has given you, and you may freely eat the meat in your hometown as I have commanded you. So there are times when you go to Jerusalem 3 times in a year. There are times also when you have feasts like the new moon, which comes every month. If you can't get to Jerusalem, to the temple, there are certain times where the Lord says that you can eat your your cattle, sheep, or goats at home. Okay. Anyone, whether ceremonially clean or unclean, may eat that meat just as you do now with gazelle and deer. So you can eat gazelle and deer. Right now, we got a lot of brothers, especially Gad, that eats deer. Right, gazelles are found. You can find them in Africa. Uh, there's a there's a gazelle known as the Thompson's gazelle, the more famous gazelle, uh, which is found in Africa. That's a lawful animal to eat, but never consume the blood, for the blood is the life, and you must not consume the lifeblood with the meat. Instead, pour out the blood on the ground like water. Yeah, when you slaughter your animal, when they tell you how you slaughter an animal, you hang it up, you cut it at the neck, let it bleed out, you hang it up, they drain the rest. I might have a bucket at the bottom. See, that's stuff from the south of the country. A lot of brothers and sisters ain't did that. But you can hang the animal up, Let the blood drain, pour it out on the ground. Do not consume the blood, so that all may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what pleases the Lord. And that's all. See, the laws are simple, you know. Deuteronomy 12:21 in the KJV. If the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name there be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill all of the herd and of thy flock. Let me read up a little bit. Laws of the sanctuary. Okay. Deuteronomy 12:19. Take heed to thyself that thou forsake not the Levite as long as thou livest upon the earth. When the Lord Yahawah thy God shall enlarge thy border, as he hath promised thee, pretty much we're supposed to, Israel's land is not just a small part of land that you see is Israel today. We're supposed to have the whole Fertile Crescent, right? From where Mesopotamia is all the way to Egypt, where ancient Egypt was. That's the land of the Israelites. Which that's what the smart hats are trying to get now. That's why they bombing people over there in Gaza and the mosque, because they're trying to fulfill getting the land that the Lord promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to us. All right. And they want the whole earth. They really want our blessing. They want to be us, but they ain't us. they they're not like us. So that's really our whole land. So is the Lord, it says, the Lord shall enlarge thy border as he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh. And nothing wrong with eating meat. Everybody talks about, Israelites want to be wholly vegan, which I'm going to say this. If you want to eat vegan, if you want to eat vegetables, there's nothing wrong with that. But you got a lot of people in the world, right, that try to say, oh, you eat meat. Well, really, people are vegan. We're supposed to eat. We eat vegetables. That's what man. Yes, man did eat only fruits and vegetables at one point. But the Lord also said that we Israelites can eat flesh if we want to eat flesh. If we want to eat meat, we can eat meat. It's not anything wrong with that. You just don't eat the wrong meat. And thou shalt say, I will eat flesh because thy soul longeth to eat flesh. Thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. There's nothing wrong with eating meat. Balance it out with whole foods, organic vegetables, fruits. You can juice now. There's a way to eat lawfully without eating French fries and fried chicken and hot wings. Okay? If the place which the Lord thy power hath chosen to put his name there be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill of thy herd of thy flock, which is the goats, the cattle, the sheep, which the Lord Yahawah hath given thee, as I have commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten. So I guess that would equate to a gazelle and deer. So thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. It's talking about the person. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. That's why we Israelites, so-called black people, we love to eat our meat well done, eat our steaks well done. Okay? Try to imitate these white folks, these Edomites, eat steak tartare. Okay? Let these white folks trick you into thinking that how they eat so-called as upper class, that's some kind of luxury. End up getting sick. Thou shalt not eat it, thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with eating meat, but you don't eat the blood. You got to cook it all the way through. Right? You got to roast it all the way through. So now we're at number 147. The blood of slaughtered clean animals must be poured on the ground and covered with earth. Leviticus 17, 10 through 16. I just read a little bit of that in Deuteronomy 12. So let's go to Leviticus 17 and 10. Leviticus 17 and 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, the strangers are other Israelites. Okay? This is important to go into the Hebrew language and you understand what word is stranger. A stranger of another nation would be the Hebrew word nakar. All right? Mostly when you read that. When you read about a stranger that is an Israelite of the tribes, it would be the Hebrew word gar. Okay? Gar. I don't need to click. This is not how you pronounce the Hebrew language. I don't need to click on the for the Hebrew. I don't need to click on the speaker symbol for the Hebrew. All right. They're going to tell you the wrong thing. They're going to say ger.
Strong's H 1616. Gar. Gar.
Okay, they pronounce this one right, gar. But there's no E's in Hebrew. That's what I was explaining to the one guy in the comment board. There is no E. It's just gar. Just gar. You don't need an E. Ga and a ra. Gar. All right. Now for the Greek, the Latin, yeah, you can learn how to pronounce the Latin. But for the Hebrew, there's no E's in Hebrew. Sojourner, a temporary inhabitant of an Israelite. Maybe you're a Gadite. Maybe you're going to live amongst the tribe of Ephraim, or you're traveling to Ephraim. A newcomer lacking inheritance rights, because when you have an Israelite of the tribe of Gad, temporary, you may be doing business, you might be helping out a fellow Israelite, which is an Ephraimite. You don't have the inheritance rights to the Ephraimite land. You're just a newcomer, right? Or maybe you're an Ephraimite whose father may have lived in another land, and you have to come back to the tribe of Ephraim's land. You have to get with the priests and get with the elders and get with the men of that tribe in order to find out, what your family line is, and then they'll give you your land. But when you're a newcomer, you lack the inheritance rights of your tribe. Or if you're from another tribe, you don't have those inheritance rights because that particular land, that tribal land, is not yours. Number two, or foreigners in Israel, right? Israelites, no conceded rights. You don't have the rights to certain lands, but you are an Israelite. That's what gar means. You're a stranger. Straight to the point. See, we ain't debating now. We ain't debating. We ain't going back and forth. We're telling you what the scriptures mean. That's what the teachers are set up for, to teach the scriptures. Right? You don't question your high school, your college professor. You don't question the teachers of the true teachers of the scriptures. All right? We're analyzing, like the Apostle said, we're analyzing everything now. We're just straightforward preaching the scriptures. Okay? All that back and forth, you know, we'll do certain things for edification. Say, we'll make corrections when need be. But to go back and forth as if we're unsure, no, we're sure of this word. Okay? Leviticus 17 and 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. This is why Yahawah gave up himself as an atonement for the sins of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay? But now going back to verse 10, and whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel or of the strangers that sojourn among you, the strangers are Israelites, they eateth any manner of blood. The Israelites don't eat the blood. I would even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. So we black folk, we Native American, Hispanic, Latin folk, we don't eat the blood. We're the Israelites. We don't. That's not of our customs and of our heritage to eat raw, uncooked food. But our people, with no understanding here in America, our people do that. But we're here to bring you back to the true understanding. Okay? Verse 12. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat the blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. He keeps reiterating. The Lord keeps reiterating himself, letting you know, don't eat the blood. But niggas is hard headed, but we're not to be so. Okay? We're not hard headed no more. We accept the truth. Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawah. The elect do. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten. What did Jake love to eat back then? Quail. So if you go out and you catch quail, all right, then you can eat quail because the quail is a fowl, is a bird, right? He shall even pour out the blood thereof. You go out and you go deer hunting, you catch a deer, you have to pour out the blood of the quail, got to pour out the blood of the deer. You go turkey hunting, you got to pour out the blood of the turkey, cover it with dust. They did that in the ancient world. This is the law we can keep now, which if certain brothers go hunting and you're hunting for food, when you get that animal that you killed and you slaughtering it, you got to make sure that you pour all that blood out. For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. See, these laws are teaching us how to eat clean, which being clean is healthy. Being healthy is to be holy, to be whole. And every soul that eateth that which died of itself, if an animal got sick, right? Or that which was torn with beasts. Maybe you had a wolf pack come and eat some of your cattle if you owned a farm, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, which is an Israelite of another country, another land, another tribe. He shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Then shall he be clean. So let's say you did you didn't cook the meat all the way, you got some blood. You gotta wash yourself, ritually purify yourself. Then you'll be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. So now you got sin upon you. Okay? That's all the Lord is telling you. See, when you get into the laws of the Bible, you see how freaking ridiculous the ways and the customs of America and this Western white man's world is. You see how evil and stupid these Edomites are and how they uphold this earth. If you keep the laws of the Bible, everybody will be on point, especially our people will be on point. But they say that they're the Jews. Man, they don't keep this. Are you out of your mind? But they read Torah on Shabbat on Saturdays. You out of your mind. And yes, the small hats, the Jews are white people. They're all just white. They're all Edomites. They're all white. You read it. They try to separate themselves. Well, we're not white. No, you are. Okay, you're white people. You're Edomites. And by the way, not all white people are Edomites, but all Edomites, Edomites, right? No, I'll take that. No, Edomites are white people. How they go? How you say that? But you have tares. You also have Edomites that look like black people, but they're really Edomites. You get a lot of these young so-called black kids, and they're all emo and they act and talk and they act like a bunch of Edomites. and they take that culture on, that's because they're Edomites. For some of them. But this is why, let me say this too, the angels are going to separate the sheep from the goats. Okay? All right. So, so we don't eat any blood, right? And I was pretty much saying that you have Israelites that look like so-called white people. You have Edomites that look like so-called black people. But the angels in the last day, they're going to separate who's the true Israelite and who's the true Edomite, and the other nations, separate from the elect. But the point was, it's not of our culture to eat the blood. All right. So now let's go to the next one, number 148. Set the mother bird free when taking the nest or the young. Deuteronomy 22, 6 through 7. Let's go to that. Deuteronomy 22, 6 through 7. It says, if a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young, but thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. So now let's get this in the NLT. Deuteronomy 22 and 6. If you happen to find a bird's nest in a tree or on the ground, and there are young ones or eggs in it with the mother sitting in the nest, do not take the mother with the young. You may take the young, but let the mother go, so that you may prosper and enjoy a long life. All right, and that's straight to the point. Let's go to the next one. Number 149. Examine the meat of animals to make sure it is permitted for consumption. Leviticus 11, 2 through 8. So now we're getting to the Levitical laws, the dietary laws, which is Leviticus 11. It tells you about the clean and unclean animals. Uh, yeah, I read it in the NLT. So this is Leviticus 11 and 1. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Of all the land animals, these are the ones you may use for food. So our people are so gung ho these days about diet and eating healthy, which, like I said, being vegan for a time and eating certain uh, fish in small amounts, because a lot of fish contains mercury. Pescatarian, you might eat a certain food for a certain time. You know, if you can keep up with your health by doing that, that's fine. The scripture says not to judge a man in eateth herbs or certain diet. But I'm talking about as a whole, our people like to pride themselves on a diet. Uh, but when you get into the scriptures, you get a better understanding of the diet. Okay. It says, you may eat any animal that has completely split hooves and choose the cud. You may not, however, eat the following animals that have split hooves or that chew the cud, but not both. Right? So let's look up split hoof. Split hoof, right? Chew cud animals. Right? So it gives you animals that you can eat. Animals that have split hooves and chew the cud include sheep, so you can eat lamb, right? Giraffes, you can eat giraffe meat. You can eat bison, right? Now you get sheep is found in America. Bison is found in America. Gad ate a lot of bison, all right? They call them American buffaloes. Was it that's actually the spirit? I was watching the video earlier. Buffalo and bison are two different. They're both bovine animals, but they're actually two different species of bovine, right? And then you have the water buffalo. The water buffalo is found in Africa as well. So if you go to Africa and you run into a giraffe or you run into a water buffalo, they're lawful to eat. If you're in America, it happened upon a farm somewhere in the Midwest, you can eat sheep, which is lamb. You can eat bison, which is the American buffalo. Okay. Other animals that chew their cud include goats. You can eat goat and deer. The process of producing cud during digestion is called rumination. Ruminants are mammals with specialized stomachs that pre-digest their food. They regurgitate partially digested food, called cud, back into their mouths to be further broken down. So that's the understanding on that. Okay? So these are animals that you can eat. All right, an example. You may not, however, eat the following animals that have split hooves or that chew the cud, but not both. So you might have an animal that has a split hoof like a pig, but pigs don't chew the cud. Yeah, they have to do both. The camel chews the cud. All right. The camel chews the cud, but does not have split hooves. So it is ceremonially unclean for you. Let's look at the camel. Camel. Look at that. Chew the cud. Yes, camels chew the cud. Right? Yes, camels chew the cud. Get straight to the point. Camels are not true ruminants. Camels have a single stomach, so they are not technically true ruminants. Ruminants have multiple stomachs, like cows. Camels don't have hooves. Camels don't have hooves, but instead have separate toes with hoof like toenails. Camels are not kosher. Camels are not kosher because they chew the cud but don't have split hooves. So you can see you got camels, they chew the cud, right? Let's see if I can find a camel hoof or camel camel TOES. Right? You're gonna see why they call it that too. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They only have one stomach. Let's see if I can even. I'm not even sure. I should even type that in because YouTube gonna. I tell you what. I tell you what. I type in camel camel hoof, which is not a hoof. It's a you know what. See, camels have two toes, but they don't have actual hooves. They just have these toenails in front. Okay. You say, oh well, it's split. No, those are toes. All right, they're not kosher. Okay, a hoof goes all the way around. Let's look at I'm gonna show you. Let's look at a deer hoof. See, deer hoof is split and it goes all the way around the foot. That's different than a camel. I'm gonna show one more. Let's go to a cow. Cow. Or a bovine hoof. It's split and it goes all the way around the foot. That's different than a camel toe. It's different. See, even when they laying down, you can see it's different. They have two toes. A Bactrian camel. Okay, so we don't eat that. It says the Leviticus 11:5. The hyrax chews the cud, but does not have split hooves, so it is unclean. What is a hyrax? A hyrax, a coney or a rock badger. So let's look up a rock badger. What is a rock badger? Rock badger. Yeah, so you don't eat this. It's a rodent. It's a rodent. You don't eat rodents. You don't eat mice. You don't eat rats. You don't eat this. You don't eat this motherfucker right here, man. Okay? It chews the cud. It eats these plants here. Okay? But they don't have hooves. All right? They have little paws. There you go. Little paws with little fingers. Rock hyrax. The fauna of the Holy Land. Private tours of Israel. So the Lord knows what he's talking about when you go into this Bible and you read about what to eat and what not to eat. It says the hare chews the cud but does not have split hooves, so it is unclean. You know what a hare is? That's Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's a hare. Okay? If you look up a hare, Bugs Bunny might pop up. So you can see a hare, same family as a rabbit, but there's differences. So you don't eat rabbits, you don't eat hares. Okay? You don't because it's what? It's a rodent, the hyrax or the rock badger. Okay? Little small mammal. You don't eat rabbit meat. So you got a hair drawing. Let me see that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back. Hair. Hair bunny. I'm surprised they don't got a. Okay, this is showing a small bug. Bugs Bunny's a hair. Yeah, see, there you go. Bugs Bunny. And the hair raising hair. So you can't eat a Bugs Bunny. You can't eat a wild hare. All right. Can't eat a rabbit. You can't eat a badger. The rodents. Okay. Leviticus 11:7. The pig has evenly split hooves, but does not chew the cud, so it is unclean. I can't get any more self-explanatory than that. You may not eat the meat of these animals or even touch their carcasses. They are ceremonially unclean for you. Now, you got a lot of our people that they don't know that pork is pig. Hold up, man. Is pork pig? Watch this. I mean, I don't know how stupid a nigga can be. Yes, pork is the meat of a pig. Oh, I didn't know pork was pig. I didn't know that was pig. Yeah, the Bible says we ain't supposed to eat that. If I can bring back a term from the 90s, no duh. Of course not. Okay? Forbidden. Forbidden in some religions, including Judaism, which is of the law, scriptures, Islam, and Christian Adventists. Yeah. So you're not supposed to eat the pork in the Bible, the pig, according to the Bible. Pork is the culinary name for the meat of the pig. Just so you niggas know. Okay? Just so you know. So you Hebrews know. So you Brews know. So you Israelites know pork and pig is not to be eaten. I don't care if it's the New Testament, definitely, of course, in the Old Testament, but even in the New Testament, you don't eat pig, you don't eat pork. Leviticus 11 and 8. You may not eat the meat of these animals or even touch their carcasses. They are ceremonially unclean for you. Of all the marine animals, animals in the sea, these are the ones you may use for food. You may eat anything from the water if, it has both fins and scales, whether taken from salt water or from streams, right? Fresh water. You go freshwater fishing in a stream for some trout, you can eat trout. But if you catch a catfish, you can't eat a catfish. But you must never eat animals from the sea or from rivers that do not have both fins and scales. They are detestable to you. This applies both to little creatures that live in shallow water and to all creatures that live in deep water. I'm just going to name some examples. I'm not going to go into it. You don't eat catfish. Catfish has fins, it does not have scales. Catfish is unlawful. All right? You don't eat nematodes. Okay? You don't eat tadpoles. You don't eat crayfish, right? The little creatures. You don't eat crayfish. You don't eat crab. You don't eat lobster, which which live in the deep water. When you go deep water fishing, and they're fishing from tuna, right? You might get a crab stuck in there. Depending on your method of fishing. Watch them shows like was it wild tuna, wicked tuna, something like that. And they'll show you how they fish out there, and they catch all kinds of little sea creatures in the deep ocean. You don't eat those. And you notice when they pull up those nets, they got to sift through. They got to get the mollusk out of there. They got to get the crab out of there, the lobster. They throw that back in the ocean. They only keep the tuna. Tuna's lawful. Okay, turkey is lawful. Y'all don't know how to differentiate between a turkey and a turkey vulture. Okay, turkey gobble gobble that you eat that people eat on Thanksgiving around the world. Turkey you can eat without a shadow of a doubt. Turkey. You do not eat turkey vulture. I'm not gonna look it up. You got to look up this stuff too. I'm just going an overview of the laws. Okay. It says they will always be detestable to you. You must never eat their meat or even touch their dead bodies. Any marine animal that does not have both fins and scales is detestable to you. You don't eat at juicy crab. You don't eat lobsters. Little sea creatures. You don't eat this stuff. You don't eat this stuff. You don't eat this crap. Seahorses and lobsters, crabs. I know this is just some little toy images. Hold on, let me get something so you can understand. There you go. You don't eat this stuff. Look at these little sea creatures: sea eels, sea anemones, sea stars, shrimp, and crab. You don't eat this stuff. Crayfish, crawfish, shellfish, conch. Levi them love conch. You don't eat that. All right. Salamanders. You don't eat that stuff, man. Seahorse. You don't eat octopus, calamari. You don't eat calamari. Oh, man. Look at this deep sea creature. You don't eat nothing like that. Okay. No. Oh, okay. That's a toy. These are creatures you don't eat. Dolphin. You don't eat dolphin. You don't eat shark. Leviticus 11 and 12. Any marine animal that does not have both fins and scales is detestable to you. So you have to have fins and scales. These animals here are mammals, right? Dolphins, they say dolphins are mammals. I'm not sure about sharks. You can look that up. They have fins, they don't have scales. Okay? Shark has skin. Uh, Dolphins, like whales, orcas, dolphins, they have blubber. All that fat in their meat. To keep them warm in that ocean. So you get the point. You get the point. Verse 13. These are the birds that are detestable to you. You must never eat them. The griffin vulture, the bearded vulture, the black vulture. You don't eat vultures. Okay? You have turkey. Watch this. Turkey versus turkey vulture. Because this was a big issue among Israel at the time. Look at this. Oh no, here you go. Better. You have the difference between a wild turkey, which you can eat, and a turkey vulture. Anything that's a vulture, you don't eat. So there's a difference. Okay? You don't eat turkey vultures, but you can eat turkey. Like the law says, you don't eat griffin vultures or bearded vultures, the black vulture, the kite, which is like a hawk, falcons of all this kind. You don't eat falcons, you don't eat hawks, you don't eat eagles, ravens of all kinds, which includes the crow. You don't eat crows, you don't eat ravens. The eagle owl, the short-eared owl, you don't eat owl, the seagull, hawks of all kinds, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the barn owl, the desert owl, the Egyptian vulture, the stork, herons of all kinds, flamingo, you don't eat flamingos, the hoopoe, and the bat, you don't eat bats. Then they say that's where the C-19 started from. Somebody in China among the Moabites was eating bats. The Hollywood movie stuff. Now now you got a spread virus, but you don't eat bats, okay? You must not eat winged insects that walk along the ground. They are detestable to you, okay? You don't eat roaches. Are not roaches winged insects that walk along the ground? You may, however, eat winged insects that walk along the ground and have jointed legs so they can jump. The insects so you don't eat roaches, you don't eat certain beetles. You don't eat okay, you don't eat beetles. You don't eat that stuff. You don't beetles, Egyptian scarabs. Okay. See, if you search and you do your research and you read the Bible, to get right to it for you. The insects you are permitted to eat include all kinds of locusts, bald locusts, crickets, and grasshoppers. You know, you can buy dried grasshoppers with seasoning on it. Okay. That's what John the Baptist ate. Locusts, grasshoppers, he ate locusts and wild honey. He didn't eat the bees, but he ate the honey. All other winged insects that walk along the ground are detestable to you. Don't eat ants, wasps, bees. The following creatures will make you ceremonially unclean. If any of you touch their carcasses, you will be defiled until evening. If you pick up their carcasses, you must wash your clothes, and you will remain defiled until evening. Then you might get a shovel, you might get some gloves, but you don't touch it, so you don't get dirty, right? I wouldn't really touch it with gloves. But anyway, you get something, you bury it, right? So read Leviticus the 11th chapter. I'm gonna go to the next commandments. Um, Number 150. Examine fowl to make sure they are permitted for consumption. Deuteronomy 14:11 through 19. Which, when you go to Deuteronomy 14, it is a repeat of Leviticus 11. See, Deuteronomy 14, ceremonially clean and unclean animals. It says, you are a people of the Lord, you are power, never cut yourselves or shave the hair above your foreheads in mourning for the dead. Right, you don't do that stuff, man. You have been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and he has chosen you from all the nations on the earth. See, all the nations and races of the earth are not God's people to this day, to be his own special treasure. Then it goes into the dietary laws. So read Leviticus 11, read Deuteronomy 14, and you'll know what you can and what you cannot eat. Okay? I think it was going back to Leviticus 11. Number 151, examine locusts, which I just went into, to make sure they are permitted for consumption. Leviticus 11:20 through 23. Number 152, fish to make sure they are permitted for consumption. Leviticus 11:9 through 12, which I went over that. Okay, I'm in the 40s. So, you don't eat these animals. You don't eat lizards, rats, mole rat, large lizards, little lizards, common lizard, gecko, sand lizard, chameleon, snake, the monitor lizard. You don't eat Komodo dragons. You don't eat uh Gila monsters, desert lizards. You don't eat that stuff. All these small animals are unclean for you. If any of you touch the dead body of such an animal, you will be defiled until the evening. Gotta wash yourself. And then this goes into the washing of certain vessels. You know, if certain carcasses fall in a bucket or something. I think I mentioned this in a previous lesson on the laws. So this is the point. I went over these clean animals that you can eat, animals you can't eat. Read the scriptures, read the laws so you can know, you know, uh, our people, don't know, but we in this faith of Yahawah Shai, coming back to inherit as Israelites, there are certain laws that we can keep um, consciously, that we can keep, and we keep those to the best of our ability. No, we are not saved by the law, but this is for edification. So with that, praises goes to Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash, double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone. Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Hope you learned something, hope you were edified. To the next lesson, I'll say Shalom.